Now, as I mentioned to one of the viewers in a reply, we are doing so much close-up work that we are losing perspective as to how small some of these pieces really are. And I want to just see here, what happened here with this little part? Did I not glue it in properly? Or did I maybe catch something on it and break it off? Well, we'll get it out of there. Another thing that I have to be very careful of is when I am reaching across, like if I want to reach across and grab my coffee cup, that I don't accidentally catch onto something, because that's very easily done. So I have to be very conscious of where my arm is, and I try to make all my movements very slow and deliberate. Anyway, I think you get the picture here. Let's put the macro lens on and see if we can figure out what went wrong there. Now I think I need a different kind of tweezer to get this out of here. Now, did that break off or did it just come loose? It looks like it's all in one piece yet. You can see the little peg on the bottom of it. Okay, I stand corrected. This little peg here that I just grabbed onto, that used to be much longer. And you can see here that it's broken off right there. Now, how am I going to get that glued back on there? I don't think there's going to be any way that I'm going to be able to glue this end here onto this end down here. So the idea is I want to have it the proper height, because the bottom of the floats fit in this, into this V-shaped part here. Now, the good news is that the float is going to be completely, oh shoot. Okay, as I started to say, the bottom of the float is going to be covering that up, so if the glue gets a little bit globby in this area, nobody's going to see it anyway. Let's kind of do a dry run here if we can. I'm trying not to squeeze this thing too hard, because if I do, I could break it. Okay, now how can I get my hands in there and get it like that? Just sort of set it in place. Maybe reposition it slightly. Whoops, I dropped it. Will this work? If I could just sort of set it down on top there. If I was to put some CA medium against the back here, and then just sort of set it there, nobody's going to notice that it's, glued against the back of this part. Let's just try that and see how that's going to work here. I'm trying to reposition this just a little bit on my tweezer. Fortunately, I'll be able to cut out all the dead spots on the video. Okay, a fair amount of time has passed now, like about 30 seconds or more. That's not exactly right, is it? This is not working. There. Okay, can it stay like that? Just, no, that's not right. Oh, for Pete's sake. Now it's starting to stick to my tweezers. Give it one more try here. There. Okay, we'll let that harden just like that. Then I'll reinforce it just a little bit. I realize that the distance front to back isn't right, but the height is right. Okay. Okay, now what do we do about the decals? Well, here's my thinking, and I realize that probably most viewers are going to disagree with me. I am afraid that if I start messing around with these decals and try and get them on the wings, it's going to end up looking worse than if I'd have just left it alone. I can imagine that the plane that Tony is making is probably going to have the decals, and I'm just going to leave it to the professionals. I think that it's gonna look okay the way it is. Yes, it would look better if the decals were professionally put on, but I just don't want to have to do a whole bunch of putting solvent on the decal to remove it and then having to repaint the wing. Yeah, at least that's my thinking right now. Let's move on to the railing. Well, here's the plan. And the reason I'm going to be using the rotator is not so that they will be constantly rotating, but so that I can turn these around later. And this is what I'm thinking. Now, because I know the airbrush could possibly blow these off, I'm just going to have some masking tape ready here to tape them down. Now, the idea is that I will spray at about a 45-degree angle through this way. The spray will pass through the railing, and it won't be allowed to pool on the other side. If I was to lay this sheet down flat on something, which would be the easiest way to do it, well, then I'm going to have pooling around the railing, and it's going to spoil the definition. So the idea is I'll spray at 45 degrees, cover it, turn it, spray again, and then make my switch. That's the plan. It may not work out. I've never done this before, so it's possible it won't work out. I should mention that what I did with these was I took the plastic off of both sides, and I put it in my ultrasonic cleaner with hot soapy water for about a minute, I guess. Each sheet, I did them separately. Then I rinsed them off in isopropyl alcohol. And I'm being very careful now to only touch the edges, not touch the railing itself. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this yet today, but we'll see how things go here. Okay, now I'm at the spray booth, and I'm looking at this idea that I had with the rotator, and I'm wondering if maybe I am finding problems where none exist. Let's see what would happen if I did not use the rotator. I'll just take this out of here for a moment. Now, how hard would it be? You know, I could just hold it down with my hand so it doesn't blow away, and then after I've painted, you know, in this direction, I turn it around and paint in this direction again, which will be the other direction, if that makes any sense. Of course, I am going to have to wait for these to dry so I can, flip them over and then do the other side, but that's all right. I guess I maybe could rig something up to flip them over, but what's the hurry, right? I mean, we've been working at this for over a year now. It's no big rush. Yeah, I'll show you the type of the paint that I'm planning on using, at least what I'm thinking about. Alright, we've got this type of primer here. I've got it in white, gray, and black. And I was thinking, why not use the gray and see how it looks with just the primer? I mean, the idea is that you don't want the primer or the paint to be chipping off of the metal. Well, the primer is probably going to stick, as good as anything. It dries flat, at least it says it does, and it could be that, if I put it on heavy enough, one coat of this primer will be all we need, and I won't need to, paint over top of the primer with something. We'll maybe see how that looks. What do you think? In the comments below. Anyway, I'm kind of running out of time again, so that's it for today, folks. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow in the spray booth.